Hello, and welcome to Robert's Paranormal Investigations. I'm Robert, and today you're going to be joining me for episode 1 of our new Goblin Hunt series. A series where we're going to do some investigation into the lore and history surrounding many of the Goblin narratives that we hear in the world. I'm here today at the forest. We've heard from some anonymous sources that there have been multiple confirmed Goblin sightings in these woods. So what I'm hoping to do today is just poke around a little, see if we can find any evidence suggesting that there is Goblin activity here, and if we do find any Goblin activity, try to pinpoint exactly where and what is happening. This is serious business, so come along for the ride. So we're a bit deeper in the woods now, and I want to stop for a second and talk about what exactly it is we're looking for. Over the past couple of months, we've received several compelling anonymous tips indicating, with a fair degree of certainty, that there is at least some Goblin activity in this area. Right now, I'm going to put an image up on screen of something that one of our confidential tips sent in to us. That looks like pretty compelling evidence of some Goblin activity to me. So what we're hoping to do is just poke around a bit, see if this Goblin is operating alone, or if there are more in the area, and it should hopefully be a pretty interesting time. I'm really hoping to get some answers about what exactly is happening in these woods. Now, I realize I haven't gotten a lot of a chance to introduce myself to explain exactly what's happening here. I've been investigating paranormal activity for many years now. It's been something that I'm very passionate about. But Robert's Paranormal Investigation is a new venture, something that I just started recently. And we're trying to get this off the ground to share my exploration and my understanding of the paranormal world with more of you people. Now, as I said, this is a relatively new venture, so we are a little short on funding. We're trying to get the resources together to get this program off the ground. So our equipment is not the best. We don't have access to all the high quality technology that we maybe want right now. But we hope you'll bear with us, and we'll work through our budget cuts and just make things work the best we can. Okay, we're almost at the spot where most of the Goblin sightings have been concentrated. So I want to stop for a second and tell you about what kind of equipment we're actually going to be using to try to get a better look at some of these Goblins. So I have here in my hand a bit of a rudimentary Goblin bait station. Word on the street is that Goblins go crazy for sweet food, something they don't have a lot of access to in the wild. We'll talk more about that later. So I have here a cup of pretty much pure grape jelly. And I have a GoPro that we rented, using the limited filming budget that we did have. And ideally, we're gonna be able to set this bait station up, put the GoPro to film. We can go off and explore other places. And if we're lucky, a Goblin or two is going to catch wind of the grape jelly, come get some, and we're going to get actual footage of them on our camera. So that is really exciting stuff. Okay, we have reached the spot that I think is most likely going to yield some Goblin activity. We're in a heavily forested area, far away from all human civilization, and I think this is going to be a good place to go ahead and set up our first bait station. So I have here my cup of grape jelly, which I mentioned earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and take the lid off. This was kept to just keep the scent out while we were traveling. We don't want to attract the Goblins to our location. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it up against this branch here. And stash this. And I have this GoPro. And I'm gonna move up the hillside a little here and place it with a good view of the grape jelly. Hopefully the Goblin won't notice it's there, and we can get some uninterrupted footage of the Goblin finding the food, eating it, and leaving. So the trap is pretty much in place here, or the bait. I guess we're not actually trying to trap the Goblin, just get a good look at him. So I think we're gonna go ahead and head off around this area a little more, do some more exploration, see if we can find any more Goblin evidence. And in a couple of hours, we can come back and see if anything is developed with our Goblin bait. Come take a look at this. I just found some coins on the side of the trail. That's not too strange in and of itself, but these are noticeably wet, moist, I'd say, even a little bit slimy. And yeah, these are almost with certainty goblin coins. I recognize that smell anywhere. You can get a better look at them here. You notice that they're like visibly moist still, which means that a goblin was probably handling them pretty recently. So I've been thinking about this for a couple of minutes now, and the fact that we are finding coins in this location makes me think that we might be dealing with a hogbloon. Now, normally I wouldn't expect that kind of thing to be present in this forested area, but I do remember that there are some farmlands in the surrounding area, so it's quite possible that one may have passed through here. So like I was saying before, the presence of the coins in this area really suggests hogbloon activity to me. And I want to explain a little bit more about what exactly hogbloon activity is expected to look like. Hogbloons are a variety of goblins that are typically found in and around farmers' fields. And they scrounge off of the produce that is naturally found there. And so, as I mentioned, I thought there might be some farmer fields around this area. So I went ahead and went on my maps, and I looked, and about a half mile that way, there is a farmer's field, which leads me to believe that the hogbloon might be passing along this very path to that field every night, getting food and passing back this way, which would explain why we found those coins and this other footage. Did you see that? I almost positive I just saw something dart across the path right there. I don't want to fall into the bushes because I don't want to scare it, but that very well may have been our first confirmed goblin sighting of the evening. We're on our way back to the bait station, and we found some more pretty concrete goblin evidence. I was walking along the path just here, and I saw this sort of milky substance on the side of the tree, and if I had to guess, I would wager that that's actually goblin-related residue. Having seen similar deposits in a lot of other like goblin hotspots, this looks pretty concordant with what I've seen before. And I think that if we didn't already think we had a goblin here, this is pretty good evidence. So we're coming back up on the bait station that we set earlier, and it's hard to say from. I think we got a hit. Hold on. Yes, absolutely. Look at this. Get in here. Look at this. We left the cup upright against the log here, and this has clearly been gotten into by a goblin. We have jelly spread every. Oh my! This is fantastic. We actually have photographic evidence of a goblin now. Let's go get the camera. I think the goblin noticed the camera and took it. I don't see it there anywhere. We rented that. We're on our way out of the forest now, but I did notice this, and I want to point out this is just further evidence that there is definitely a lot of goblin stuff happening here. That was not broken by natural causes. I think anybody can see that. You know, this reminds me, this isn't actually the first run-in I've had with a hogbloon. About 2 years back, I was out in the field and I met a pretty nasty one. Lost about half my camping gear and a week's worth of food. we just got out of the forest here, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that's about a wrap for the first episode of Goblin Hunt. It really sucks that camera got taken. I wanted to see that footage, and that's also gonna hurt us financially, just to try to get a new one and deal with the renter's agreement on that. But I'm really happy you guys got to see what we did see in there. I think there's some pretty concrete evidence that there's some goblin activity happening here, so I'm glad we got a chance to get that on camera. And I hope you guys will tune in for the next installment of Goblin Hunt.